Hello, good afternoon. It's February 17th, so it's Friday. Woohoo, Friday. You can see there's that behind me. That's Indy, my previous dog, who I loved dearly. I'm in the front foyer. I figured I'd start this here. I got this one staring me down. He doesn't understand why I'm not paying attention to him. I will in a minute, okay? I love you. I have not been consistent with this because of this cold. The lighting's gonna get real weird for a second here. It's not like the cold's definitely getting better, but it's just like everything's coming out, so it's really gross. Anyway, past few days have been fine. It's work, right? Work. We had Valentine's Day, which we don't really celebrate. We've been together for a very long time, so it's not exactly like this, romantic lovey-dovey thing anymore. He did get me some chocolate, which is cool, and this little stuffed dog thing. It was cute. And I made a tuna steak, and we had strawberry shortcake. So, fun fact, when I was a kid, my grandparents, who live up in New York, my grandfather still does, my grandmother passed away a few years ago, but my grandparents would come down and they would stay on the beach, and they get like a condo or, one of those little cheesy Florida motels, and they'd rent a room for a whole month. It had a kitchenette and all kinds of things. We go down there on Thanksgiving, on Valentine's Day, and she would make a strawberry shortcake, and she always had a drawer. This is a side fact. She always had a drawer of cherry Tootsie Pops, which were my favorite. So I always got a cherry Tootsie Pop when I went and saw my nanny. So I called my grandparents, I called her Nanny and my grandfather Pop, so Nan and Pop. But she would make strawberry shortcake. So I have fond memories of strawberry shortcake and Valentine's Day. So we did that this year. It's really good. I haven't had it in a long time. I don't know if there's Publix where you are, but down here there's Publix, and they have like Publix brand little shortcakes. They're like kind of like mini angel food cake-esque things. They're really good. Just dump a bunch of cut up strawberries on it and some whipped cream, and voila, you got a strawberry shortcake. But it was really nice. It was a nice little evening. Outside of that, what else happened? I know I've said other things. I may have said this in another video, but I got a raise and a promotion, so woohoo, good things at work. So that's a positive. And yeah, I feel like there was something else and I cannot remember now, so obviously it wasn't that important. Today was interesting. They had a meet and greet for a new CEO at my job. So not everyone in the company, but a fair amount of people showed up, and he talked for a bit. Other people, we all had to introduce ourselves, and then we all kind of got to talk with each other and mingle. I got to see people that I've talked to before but never actually seen in person. I work remotely, we all do basically, so it's definitely a different experience, but it was nice to see everyone. And that kind of started off the morning, so it's been an interesting week for sure. Also, plus I got a bonus, so that was a surprise. So yay, good stuff, especially with how the world is right now, and the economy and money and inflation and eggs being so expensive. Good stuff. So yeah, that's where we're at on the cusp of the weekend, which is exciting. Definitely ready for it. I don't know that we have any plans yet for this weekend, but we'll get there. I would like to go do something, make some kind of video, like go somewhere, do something kind of cool, make a little video. But we'll see what happens. Time will tell. Should be good. We'll say yesterday and today, my goodness, it feels like summertime. So I don't know if you've ever been to Florida in the summer, but it can be very kind of oppressively hot. So not just it's 80 degrees or 85 degrees or whatever. It feels like the sun is very strong, so you kind of almost feel like you're getting cooked. And then on top of that, it gets very humid. And so those things added together is just ugh. I was wearing, this morning when I got ready to go into the office, I wanted to wear something nice. So usually offices, especially the last time I was in that one, it was very chilly. So I went and I found a turtleneck I got it from the Gap on sale, but it's white, but it has these stripes on it, but they're like orange and yellow and blue, and it sounds weird, but it's actually a pretty cute shirt. So like, okay, I'll wear this. I won't have to worry about wearing a sweater or bringing something else with me. And the building wasn't that cold, so it was kind of warm. And then just walking back to my car when I was leaving to go back home, oh my goodness, I was just like, ugh, get this off of me. This is just gross. So yeah, I don't think Punxsutawney Phil was correct when he said 6 more weeks of winter. I mean, I guess time will tell because it's only been like, what, about 2 weeks? But it feels like summer is already here. So I guess we'll find out. I don't know. Yeah, it's been an interesting week. Already halfway through February, which is kind of bonkers to think about. Yeah, there's something else I want to talk about. I am completely forgetting, so clearly it's not that important. One thing I thought was cool is I did talk to the new CEO directly, which was weird because I've done that before in other companies I've worked for, but generally it's very brief and you don't talk very much. But he had a tattoo of the Eye of Ra on his hand. Actually, it was his right hand. Which was very strange. I did ask him about it because I kept, like, he would talk and I'd see this flash of something on his palms. I'm like, what is this? So he, for one, got a tattoo on his palm, which that takes a lot of courage because, wow, that would hurt. I have a tattoo on my rib cage and that was 3 hours of pain I never want to experience again. But he had the Eye of Ra on his palm. And what's cool is that I have the Eye of Ra. I don't know if you can see it. God, the Eye of Ra. The Eye of Horus. He has the Eye of Ra. I have the Eye of Horus on my neck. I got that when I was 18. Honestly, it wasn't he had like this whole philosophical reason for getting his. I got mine because my friend won a gift card to a tattoo shop in downtown St. Pete and had never gotten a tattoo, felt pressured to get a tattoo, so she gave me the gift card because there was like a time limit, like you had to get it by Halloween or something. We only had a month. So she gave it to me. I got this because I liked kind of Egypt and like Egyptian-like things, and I thought it looked cool. Come to find out later, it means a whole lot more than that. So, you know, it's a win-win. I guess it's better than getting some like symbol in another language and you find out it means, you know, Jello or soup or idiot. I don't know. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, it's been a day. It's been a week. I feel like this week has gone on for a very long time, but also went by very quickly. So I guess, it can always be worse. So I guess it works out. Other thing, because we're filling in on the whole week now, we did go out to eat last night, and I'll put a picture in here. We got some sushi, and we got some matsuman curry. I'm sure I butchered that, but it's Thai food. It was so good. There's one restaurant we go to called Lana Thai, and we've been going there for probably a decade. And it is so good. So we got to go there again last night. And that was really good. Always really good service. Always really good food. So another plus. Yeah, it's been a good week. It's been a weird week, but it's been a good week. Looking forward to the weekend. Looking forward to just kind of chilling out. But anyway, here we are. That's my day. And I'm somehow been talking for over 8 minutes. So that's a record right there. Hopefully it's not too boring. I might film some other stuff later. I'm not sure. It depends on how this evening goes. But if I don't, thanks for tuning in. I hope you had a really good Friday. And I hope you have a really good evening. And I will talk to you later. Bye. Hello. I know I had said in the last little clip that, hey, I don't know if I'm going to film more. I don't know what tonight's going to bring. As if we're going to go out somewhere. No, we're probably going to have dinner and watch an episode of The Last of Us or Big Bang Theory or a horror movie. Who knows? That's where we're at in life, which is fine with me. I like those evenings. But I was just thinking, I'm kind of like smack dab in the middle of like being a millennial, because I think what millennial is like 1980 to 1997 or something. So I am right kind of in the middle of that. But the reason for bringing this up is I was listening to some music. So I don't know about you, but I go through phases with music where I won't really listen to it. I'll listen to podcasts or videos, whatever. Mostly podcasts. So I'll go through podcasts, some videos that I really just listen to more than watch, and then I'll kind of roll back into music. And that's been a habit for a while now, especially the past year or so since working remote. Because my old job, I obviously had to go into the office. I managed, and I didn't ever watch videos then either, but I would listen to audiobooks sometimes, but usually I'd listen to music if I was stressed out, and even to this day, if I listen to music, I listen to classical music. It helps for whatever reason. But I was listening to music today because I had to drive into the office, and it was enjoyable, obviously. And I'm listening to it again this evening. But the reason for all of this rambling is I was thinking what I'm listening to, a lot of it, some of it's music I've never listened to, not necessarily newer music, but maybe within the past 7 or 8 years. But a lot of it is, from when I was a teenager or a young adult. Technically still a young adult, but I mean like 20, 22, that kind of thing. And I know that sounds immature, but I think a lot of people can relate, when you listen to bands, like what I was just listening to is Jimmy Eat World. And I think they're still around. I haven't looked really into any of their new music, but I was listening to one of their older albums, and it's just like, this is such a good song. And it's like, oh no, we've reached the stage where I just want to listen to what I know. I love finding new things and new music, but I totally get why people kind of fall into this rhythm of going back. I remember being a kid and seeing people listening to music like from the 80s and kind of still doing their hair that way and dressing and thinking, you're kind of stuck in the past. Why are you stuck in the past? But, you get older and it's like, okay, I get it. There's a lot of nostalgia, and not in 80s music is actually great, and especially compared to a lot of the stuff that's out today. People actually played instruments. It's a miracle. And I know people play instruments now, but you know what I mean. It's a different scape of music these days. But really my point is that I get why people kind of stay back and listen to what they know. And also, music from the late 90s through the early 2010s, there's some good stuff in there, and it's too bad that it's kind of dwindled out. But what can you do? At least we have what was created in the past. There's my little rambling on. I doubt this will age me. This will make me sound like I was a very melodramatic teenager, which kind of was, and also sound kind of lame. But when I was in high school, one of my favorite bands was Bright Eyes. So yes, I know, all mopey. I still love the music overall. Some of it I can't really listen to, but like Cassadaga is still one of my favorite albums. Lime Tree I think is a beautiful song. The only album I saw them live for too, which was perfect. So at the Performing Arts Center, you had an assigned seat, and it was just an awesome concert. They did this cool projection thing. It was just perfect. It was like the perfect. My 17-year-old brain was like, this is like the best night of my life. It was great. Anyway, they came out with an album, I think in 2020, during everything going kind of crazy. So it was like, oh great, we actually have something to look forward to. This will be awesome. And it came out, and it was fine. And I know, I'm sure a lot of people loved it, and that's great. I'm happy for them. I never listened to it. I found it kind of boring. Like, it wasn't bad. I couldn't write a song or sing or play anything like that, so, that more power to them. But it just didn't have the same oomph behind it. And maybe that's because I'm not 17 anymore, and it's just not the same. Or maybe, obviously these people, they got older too, so they're singing now about their lives and their experiences within the past decade or 5 years or 2 years or 6 months, who knows. But it just wasn't the same. So my point to all of this rambling is older music is great, and I get it. And you know what? I think the more time that goes by, I'm clearly going to listen to new stuff. I think we all will, and there's going to be great new music that comes out, but there's thankfully always going to be that stuff that came out 5, 10, 15, almost 20 years ago, and it still is just great, and you just love it, and it brings you right back, and it's just perfect. So yeah, there's my rambling about music that probably no one will watch, but it's good to talk out loud about it, I guess. Anyway, so clearly I'm probably going to film more, especially if it's Friday night, so hopefully I do. Hopefully I'm not a liar. So yeah, there's my music take. Hello, this is the last video of the night in my showered glory, my Busch Gardens shirt, classic Busch Gardens shirt. They don't sell it anymore, unfortunately. I really wanted to buy another one because I've worn this one so much that it's kind of already faded and getting a little amorphic. But they don't sell them anymore, unfortunately. They're selling them for their 60th anniversary, which is that was 2020, unfortunately. But it was cool because at the time they had these signs up, well, not signs, but kind of, sign board kind of thing talking about like what was originally there. So like when it opened, because it's 60 years old in 2020, so open for a very long time. So it had like, hey, this is what used to be here, and it was cool because some things I remember even up to when I was a kid, and we'd go there, like Splashdown or Python was one of the roller coasters there. Now it's like a little kid play area, which is fine. But anyway, they had all this like retro throwback merch, and this was one of them, was the Busch Garden shirt, and it was so cool. They don't sell it anymore. So now I'm going to have to find another Busch Garden shirt that I like that fits this way. And that's my Busch Garden shirt rant. Anyway, I wanted to say hello. We had dinner. We ate tacos, which were fine. Not my favorite dinner tonight, but I love tacos. It's just, tonight this dinner was meh. Generally, I love to cook, but for whatever reason, the last like 6 or 7 months, I just have not been interested in cooking at all. Or not interested, just not as inspired. Like, not like, ooh, I really want to make this. It's kind of just been like a chore, like going through the motions. So, who knows? But, anyway, Josh went to bed because it's 8:20, but he got up with Colin about 4:30 this morning because Colin needed to go do his business very early. We started giving him these treats from the vet, which he loves. They're called popcorn. So they look kind of like little poofs, but they have probiotics and they're low calorie and all of that, which is good for a Cavalier because they love to eat. But I think the probiotics are making him go more. So early this morning they went out and did their stuff. So he's to bed. Colin looks like he's fallen asleep on the couch, and I'm wide awake. So here we are. So instead, he's going to bed. Colin's going to fall asleep. I'm going to rewatch episode 4 and 5 of The Last of Us, I think, because I've watched them but just haven't. It's one of those things like you've watched it, you caught the details, but you feel like you haven't paid enough attention. So we're going to rewatch them, because why not? So yeah, should be good. Be a quiet little evening. We took Colin for a walk, his last walk of the night, and it's raining, which I didn't expect because this is our dry season. So it must be like a very, very weak front because it was not freezing, but very chilly rain. And I'm wearing like my like sweat shorts and a shirt, and I had a little sun jacket on, so like a jacket that has SPF coverage on it, so it's thin. And it was so chilly. It was like breezy and like spritzy, chilly rain. Colin got all damp. Not expected. Did not expect rain today. So hopefully that means good weather tomorrow and for this weekend, because usually that's the sign. We get some kind of weird little front and then it's just beautiful weather. So fingers crossed that's what's going to happen. Yeah. Anyway, I feel like I've talked a lot today. It's going to be a very talk-heavy video, so I doubt anyone will even get to this point, let alone the first 30 seconds. But hey, if you did, I appreciate it. Yeah, so we're going to sit. I'm going to watch these episodes, kind of chill out. I can tell these blue blockers are not as flattering as the pink ones, like the kind of clear pink ones I have, but I have one for work, one for everything else, so that they have their space. So here we are. These are the dark ones I wear in the evening. Yeah. Still don't know what we're doing tomorrow. I'd really like to go do something, but can't quite like pinpoint what. So we'll see. Anyway, I hope you have a really nice Friday night, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.